folks, this is Meredith from the Papery Craftery, and today we are doing really quick tutorials. It's actually a twofer, but they're both going to go very speedy. First, we're going to do a mini quilled mushroom, really teeny tiny, and we need a place for the mushroom to sit, so we're going to be making some quilled grass on your quilling comb. So you can see there, these, like I said, are teeny tiny little baby teeny mushrooms. And the colors I'm going to be using is an ivory quilling paper for the cap and the stem. So I need actually less than one of these really long sheets for a mushroom. I'm going to need 2 different pieces. For the cap, I'm going to be using 6.5 inches. And then I'm also going to need another 6.5 inches. And I'm also going to need another 5 inches for the stem. And then I also need some brown. This is Quilled Creations light brown. And I'm going to be using that for what would be the gills underneath the mushroom cap. And that length is going to be also 5 inches. So I'm going to start with the cap, and that was the 6.5 inch strip. I'm using a needle tool here, but as always, if you feel more comfortable with a slotted tool, go ahead and use the tool that you like the most. So I'm just making a coil here, letting it open just a bit, and then I will glue down the tail with, this is just white craft glue, Elmer's glue, again, whatever you prefer. This doesn't have to be a fancy glue. See it now? Yeah, I like to use the side of my needle tool just to make sure that the end is nice and flat. And there's a good look at a nice coil. And now you're going to do the same thing for that light brown strip and then also the other shorter ivory strip. So once you have your 3 coils made, you can start assembling your little tiny mushroom. We're going to start with the cap. And to do this, it actually is going to be 2 different steps. First, you're going to pinch 2 sides of your coil at the same time. And it's going to make a crescent shape. And then you can see I'm pushing up on one side with my thumb to sort of make an indent on one side. Next, we're going to do the gills, and that is going to be a curved marquee. We're going to squeeze both ends real tight and then push up on one end, and push down on the other one at the same time. So it looks like a letter S. And then for the stem, you're going to hold in 2 hands, pinch one side for a teardrop, and then pinch both sides of that teardrop to sort of make a long triangle. And you can curve it a bit if you want to. I think that kind of adds to the whimsy of this little tiny mushroom. There's your 3 shapes, and now it's just a matter of putting them together. So the top of the cap and the brown gills sort of fit together like a puzzle. A little bit of white glue on one end, and then where you pushed in is where the higher part of your gills are going to go, if that makes sense. And then squeeze real tight. And that is your mushroom cap. If you find your ends aren't sitting exactly the way you want to, you might need to add a little bit more glue. You see there, it looks like there's a little gap on the left side there. I probably should have put a touch more glue on that side, and that would have had that really stay nice and steady. And then I'm going to put a little dab of glue. I like to do it, get it focused there, a little dab where the indent is on the gills, where the the higher part is. I just like the way that sits a little bit. And that is for my stem. If I was in a hurry here and I wanted it to stay, I probably would have used some tacky glue. But that's it for those teeny tiny little baby mushrooms. I think they're really cute. It's a nice entrance to fall sort of project. Now for a place for your mushrooms to sit, we're going to be making two-toned grass on your quilling comb. I have a forest green and a meadow green strips, a needle tool, a quilling comb, and a little bit of white glue. Those pre-made grass aside, so it can work here. I'm going to stack these two colors of green, one on top of the other. I like the dark green to be in the back because this is going to sort of be like a bit of a shadow. Roll these up just a little bit on your needle tool. I'm going to link to my quilling comb video here so you can see exactly why I use my needle tool and my quilling comb at the same time. Slide that onto the top tooth of your quilling comb. And then you're going to take both strips, start off between the third or the fourth, just a few teeth in. Doesn't matter exactly how many. And you're going to go up and to the side. Either side is fine. At this point, you want to sort of have the dark green sticking out a little bit as you go. And then I'm going to go up again, a few more teeth. And you can see I have that dark green just a little bit out. Up and to the side a little bit so it slightly overlaps. At this point, I'm going to be adding some glue just to make sure everything stays. And then I'm going to do one more. 3 or 4 more teeth again, and then put it up and to the side just a bit. And if everything starts to move out of the way, you can adjust it if you need to, but you want that dark green to stick out just a little bit. And at this point, you're going to tear off any excess that would go past that point, and then you're going to want to glue this down. I don't tend to go past these 3 different loops because then it gets really tall and it starts to look a little silly. Now sometimes you have to glue both layers. That's okay. Okay, now you can go ahead and slide this off now. And at some point here, it looks like I pushed a little bit too hard on my quilling comb. You can see that little dent there. And I left this part in this video so you can see, not a big deal. Just pop it back out with the tool and it's fine. And then I also want to just pinch this a bit because your grass doesn't need to be a loop. It can be flat. And there you have a two-toned couple of blades of grass. And what you're going to do is make a few of these and then you can line them all up together. And some of them have the tall part in one direction, some of it had the other. They're not all exactly the same size. You might go up or down a loop and that's okay. Or you can add some other colors. I have some spring green ones here that I made with a spring green and then the meadow green as the darker piece. So you can use whatever color you like, or you could even mix and match these even more. Maybe add some of these lighter green pieces mixed in with the meadow green ones just to add even more dimension. And there you can see what it looks like with some of the mushrooms. And then there's a little tiny mushroom there. And I just want to add the dimensions for that real quick as well. It's a 3.5 inch ivory strip for the cap, and then 3 inches for both the light brown gills and then the stem. And there I have some ladybugs. I can link to that post down below so you can learn how to make those. But it's just a sweet little grass scene. So like I said, pretty simple, pretty speedy. And you can add anything you want to the grass. You can add some little bees, like from our beehive video. You could add dragonflies. We've done that before. That's a fun one. You can go anywhere you want with this, and I hope it comes in handy for you. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave any comments or questions you have down below. And I will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.